Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to UCL. Welcome to the 12th Annual Conference of UCL Institute for Risk and Disaster Reduction, IRDR. This year's conference is jointly convened by my colleague and I. My name is Mohammad Shamsudduha, please call me Shams. I'm Associate Professor in Humanitarian Science here at IRDR.
My name is Dr. Sonja Ayeb-Karlsson. I'm a lecturer in climate policy and intersectionality. I was going to start by saying that if anyone feels a little bit misplaced or displaced, so do I. This is also my first annual conference. And we've thought quite critically about today's topic. So today we're going to look into climate change, disaster risk, loss and damage, or climate action. And we encourage you all to think about climate change from a critical point of view, as what does climate change mean for different people? So it may mean something very different from a farmer in Bangladesh or a Brit deciding to retire in Spain, for example. We have a very exciting program ahead of us with speakers from top, bottom up, and left and right.
Thank you, Sonja. We have a day full of activities, as Sonja just mentioned. The program consists of 2 panel discussions, 2 keynote speeches, and 1 in-conversation. And the conference will end with PhD students from IRDR presenting their posters and drinks and reception in the South Coast. Before we begin the day, a few housekeeping points to note. We are in Gustav Talk Lecture Theatre, and there are no fire drills scheduled today. I have checked. So, should there be any fire alarm, we have to evacuate, and the fire marshals will guide us through to the nearest fire assembly point. Toilets are located on the lower ground floor. As you come out of the stairs or the lift, take the left through the double door and you will find them. On the far right-hand side of this building, there are 2 gender-neutral toilets as well. The disabled toilet is located on ground floor, just right next to the lift. If you want to use the internet, the Wi-Fi, please log into UCL Guest through Sky Wi-Fi. You have to provide your personal details, including an email address. Lunch will not be provided during the lunch break, but there are plenty of shops and restaurants within walking distance from UCL. Tea, coffee will be provided only during the first break in the late afternoon. Lots of housekeeping notes. So without further ado, I'd now like to begin the conference with an inaugural speech from the head of department and the founding director of IRDR, Professor Peter Sammonds.
Well, thank you, Sonja and Shams, and it is wonderful to be here again in person for our 12th annual conference. I should probably just start by thanking the organisers, Sonja Ayeb-Karlsson and Hannah Shamsudduha, and also, of course, Sarah Geel, the IRDR comms manager, and all the various helpers, particularly the students who've been working behind the scenes to deliver what hopefully will be a great conference. So 280 people have registered for the conference, so welcome to everybody in the room here, and of course welcome to everybody who's joining us online. Just say it's been a year of great change. This year we launched our BSc Global Humanitarian Studies, so we admitted undergraduate students for the first time, 60 in the first year, we might actually have even 18 starting into the first year coming this coming year, and moving from a postgraduate and research-focused institute to a full academic department with undergraduate students. We've also undergone a very rapid expansion of staff. We've pretty much doubled our staff. I think by 2023 we'll have something in the order of 25 or more academic staff and about 350 students. So that's really quite a transformation. It's really appealing thing, obviously, to see the new staff like Sonja stepping up straight away to help organise this conference, and obviously the whole camp like Shams, who's been around the IRDR for many years. And also, of course, there'll be further change in September. Joanna Ford-Walker will take over as the head of department of the IRDR as I step aside. So there will be, I'm sure, further reinvigoration of the IRDR. So don't say too much about climate change. I mean, the Humanitarian Summit yesterday also, of course, touched on climate change, and this obviously probably no surprise that actually we do start to see the convergence of climate change, disaster risk, and humanitarian crises. And we are sort of addressing these from both ends, but actually clearly they are also intersecting now as well. I think probably one thing I did want to focus on is that, hopefully, we are coming out of a pandemic now. I mean, I think probably a lot of people still think there might be another autumn spurt to get through. And what that has meant, I think, the efforts that everybody is going to have to make to rebuild the lost social capital. And I think it's going to be a really big task for the incoming head of department and for the new academic staff, but actually really everybody, including the students, really need to contribute to this. We know disasters really start trends, they just exacerbate them. So, there's an economic decline in the Tohoku region of Japan, exacerbated by the tsunami. Migration from the Sundarbans to Dhaka, exacerbated by climate change. We know there's a loss of social capital going on. And probably many of you are aware of a very famous book written in 2000 by Robert Putnam called Bowling Alone, which is an analysis of the decline of social capital in the United States and how that the old traditional sort of bowling clubs, or their bowling alleys were being wound up, and people were just turning up at the bowling alleys by themselves or with a friend, and essentially bowling alone. I think we're seeing that. We've got obviously a lot of online attendance. Even a field trip I'm running on Friday. Something like a third of the students have opted against strong discouragement to be attending online rather than actually seeing the sunset levels and flooding hazard there for themselves in person. Obviously, the technology does give us the ability to recreate to some extent the sunset levels on sort of 360-degree cameras and interactive graphics and all the rest of it. But I mean, these things really don't, in my mind, make up for that loss of social interaction and peer-to-peer learning that the students have if they're actually together. So I think this has got to be, one of the biggest challenges, and I really would urge everybody as we come out of the pandemic under new leadership of the IRDR with large numbers of new staff, large numbers of new students as well, to really start the engagement. And I think the re-engagement, should I say, and I think this Humanitarian Summit yesterday, the annual conference today, and the part of those important re-engagement. So do use the breaks to talk to each other. Rarely we've been hearing each other's ideas except through Twitters and blogs, but now you can actually voice your opinions and questions. I would urge you to do that and really engage and interact with the panelists and with the speakers. So with that, I really like to welcome you all again to what I hope will be a really stimulating day. As usual with the IRDR annual conference, we do try and have a little bit of everything for everybody and a wide variety of formats, from panel discussions to keynote speakers to poster sessions and in-conversation pieces. Obviously to sort of vary engagement and hopefully engage you as well. And with that, I'll say thank you very much, and I will hand over to the Professor.